Do you think about pronunciation when you study a foreign language? Have you ever asked yourself, does it even matter? Hi, I'm Thibaut with Pronounce.com. I'm your English fluency coach. I'm here to help you break the language barrier. Today, we're going to explore this fundamental question. Why is pronunciation so important? I remember a friend who sang in English. She's French, she sings in English. And I remember hearing her and considering that, well, her accent wasn't quite up to speed with the result she was looking for. And I tried to subtly suggest that she start working on her pronunciation. She told me, well, for the time being, I'm learning the English language, and maybe I'll study pronunciation later. And that hit me. I was like, what is this? What is this concept of putting pronunciation as if it were outside of studying the language? Something in addition, something you do later? That didn't make sense to me. I happen to think it should be the first thing to learn because it's the first thing we learn in our lives. All right, so let's see why pronunciation is so important, and I'm going to give you 6 reasons why it is. Are you ready? Reason number 1, be understood. You might know the language, you might have studied it, you might even know how to choose the right words, string them together, you might know structure. You could have studied it for 10 years. I have a lot of students like that. But if your pronunciation isn't right, what's going to happen? People won't understand you. They might understand one word instead of another, or they might not understand at all. And people get really frustrated with that. What do you mean you don't understand? I learned language for 10 years. What does this mean? You know? So people get really frustrated. They don't understand why. Well, usually it's in the pronunciation. Not using the right sound, not using the right rhythm, not putting the words together with the right flow, the links, all of that. So studying pronunciation is the first step to being understood. Reason number 2, understand better. So when you work on your pronunciation, you start paying attention to the sounds and being more aware of sounds, recognizing them better. What you're able to do reflects what you're able to hear. So when you work on your pronunciation, your ear tunes into the sounds. That way, when you hear them by a native speaker, you're able to recognize them better, and therefore, you understand them better. So working on your pronunciation helps you understand. Reason number 3, get taken more seriously. What does this mean? It means that if somebody speaks your language with a very thick foreign accent and you're struggling to understand them, usually it's going to be slower, it's going to be more awkward, the conversation, you're going to have to ask them to repeat, and it's going to impact how you view them. If they pronounce correctly, even if they have a foreign accent, if they pronounce correctly, you're going to follow what they're saying. You're going to be focused on their story, not on the fact that they did this or that wrong. But if you mispronounce, people are just going to start losing, you're going to lose them. If you start mispronouncing, you're going to lose people's attention and they're going to take you less seriously. So get taken more seriously with pronunciation. Point number 4, gain confidence. So when you're speaking a foreign language that you don't know so well and you're struggling and you're meeting foreign speakers, that puts a lot of pressure in the situation. You need confidence in order to go ahead and go through with the conversation and interact with the natives. So having good pronunciation makes you feel more stable, stronger, credibility, as we said, and it gives you the confidence to go ahead and talk. Reason number 5, go deep. What does this mean? If you think about language acquisition, if you look at how it works, it starts with listening. You can hear from within your mother's womb. you can start to hear, and you're starting to focus on the sounds, and you're starting to focus on the melodies of the language, and your awareness of language starts there with your hearing. And it's all music, melody, sounds. And then when you're born, you keep hearing these sounds, and you're not able to talk for a little while, and you're listening and listening and listening. And so when you think about it, the pronunciation is actually the first thing you come in contact with when in language acquisition. It's the only physical form of language. It's gesture, it's action, it's vibration, it's sound. When you study pronunciation, you're coming in contact with that initial, that deeper part of language that actually ends up generating the rest. The words, the structure, the culture, it's all connected to these sounds that you're struggling to put together at a very, very young age. So this takes you as deep as you can into the core of the language. Pronunciation is really the center of language, if you will. Reason number 6, fluency. This is what we're looking for, right? This is what we're working on. We want to gain fluency. So how do you gain fluency? What is fluency? It's the ability to string words together naturally, without thinking, effortlessly. We're trying to have flow in our language. Well, what is flow? It's the sequence of words. Words are made of syllables. Syllables are made of sounds. So fluency is really the ability to string sounds together in a natural way. If you have the right sounds, and then you work on how to chain them together and string them together into syllables and then words and then sentences, then with practice, you get a better flow, and that is at the core of the concept, the very concept of fluency. So study pronunciation and gain fluency. Sounds good, doesn't it? If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our new content. For a more immersive experience and to make quick progress, visit Pronounce.com and learn all about the Pronounce headset, the most natural way to unlock your English fluency. Thank you for watching.